Chat, should we watch the Penguin video? CS2 is right around the corner. Almost all of us already have CS2 beta access, which means the game is going to go public any second now. Something that got leaked in the game files, and what will change with Counter-Strike 2 is how many rounds you need to win a game, which is most likely, as it looks right now, in the game files it's leaked, it's going to be 13 rounds. We're copying We are going back to the roots because in 1.6 we used to have MR12, 13 rounds to win. So we're gonna do that. Most people play short games anyways. I think it's 55% of the CSGO players play short games anyways. So everybody who says L to fucking MR12 and then cues a short game, come on, look into the mirror. Second of all, we co-stream a lot, right? We watch a lot of games on stream, a lot of esports. Sometimes best of threes, 4 hours, literally. Pistol rounds don't mean a lot. Sometimes even the team that loses has a better buy. Maybe grand finals could now be all best of fives. Let's see it though.
Aquarius on Twitter has kind of been the Counter-Strike messiah recently. One of the few who have the pedigree and dark knowledge to be able to read the cursed scriptures. By that I mean he knows how to data mine the game. Anyways, the latest thing that's been revealed through his data mining is that Counter-Strike will be removing the long match versus short match distinction and switching to MR12 for matchmaking and presumably competitive play as well. What does that mean? Well, a full game of Counter-Strike as of right now is MR15, and short matches are MR8. MR stands for max rounds, and in this context, it just means the maximum amount of rounds per half. When I first heard this rumor,
Also, MR12 means more overtime, right? Because the less rounds you play, the more likely it is that the two numbers are the same. You know what I mean? If you play 100 rounds, if it's first to 100, it's almost impossible that it's 100 to 100. You know what I mean? The less rounds, the more likely OT is. Every time, oh my god, these people typing question mark. Oh my, you must be from NA, or?
Immediately didn't like the idea. Counter-Strike is MR15. Our game has been like this for 2 decades at this point. But then I got to thinking, and I actually want to make this video in defense of at least giving MR12 a shot.
I like that.
This video is brought to you by SkinsMonkey, a site where you can easily and safely trade your skins. With SkinsMonkey, you can instantly swap out your old skins and get something new. You can use code PENGUIN on the site to get 2 new things. First off, you get a free $5 after you complete your first trade with a maximum bonus if you spend $100 on the site. And secondly, you get a 5% bonus when adding balance to the site. Combined with the 30% deposit bonus SkinsMonkey offers already, there's an extra 35% for you to spend, making their offers very competitive. Follow my link in the description or the pinned comment and start trading today. A lot of the arguments that I see in favor of MR15 are, for instance, the Boston Major final comeback would not have happened if it was on MR12. And that is obviously true. However, this kind of argument falls apart when you realize the same could be applied to argue for MR18 over MR15. How many more comebacks would have happened if we had those extra few rounds in every game? Probably not many, but at least 1 or 2. Does the existence of those 1 or 2 comebacks justify extending every blowout by another 10 minutes? In my book, no. The argument between MR15 and MR12 is not about something as transparent as whether or not you want more Counter-Strike or less Counter-Strike. It's about achieving proper balance between the economy, the maps, and time management. So let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of both MR12 and MR15 under these 3 lenses. When it comes to the balance of the economy as it stands right now, the economy is built for MR15. However, if tweaked a bit to lessen the impact of pistol rounds, MR12 could be just as viable, and I don't think anyone is really debating that. The real interesting arguments here come when we look at the more radical proposals to changes in format. For instance, I remember a few years ago, some people advocating, or at least trying to open discourse about the elimination of pistol rounds entirely, starting every map with the economy of a full gun round.
Nah.
Pistol rounds are the most random part of Counter-Strike. They determine so much about how a game will go, and oftentimes the team that wins more pistol rounds in a series will come out as the victor due to having the economy advantage in early parts of the half. Is it really fair that the most random rounds in Counter-Strike determine so much? I say yes, because while pistol rounds are in fact more random than gun rounds, they are certainly not a coin flip. They still require a lot of skill to consistently win. Players that are pistol round specialists are rewarded because of how valuable they are to teams on these pivotal rounds. Plus, pistol rounds highlight the importance of the economy in CS, and economy is one of the things that makes our game stand out from the rest. True. It adds another layer of strategic depth. The argument for removing pistol rounds is that it would distill the game to a more pure form of Counter-Strike, but in my mind at least, pistols are integral to the identity of our game, and removing them would lose us more in identity than it adds in competitiveness. So let's keep pistol rounds, but if we tweak the economy so as pretty much no matter what both teams have a full buy on the third round, then MR12 becomes viable once again with the economy altered as such. A way to do this is to take the short match approach, as in start both teams with a certain amount of loss bonus, so if you lose the pistol, even if you half buy on the second round as most teams do nowadays, you can get a full buy off in the third. So with the economy in mind, both systems can work, but if the eco stays as it is now, of course MR15 will be more fair, because the system is built for MR15. The second point that I brought
Also, chat, every time we watch an Inferno pro game, every time there's like a 4-on-4 situation, two people are on the wrong side, it's a save. MR12 as well means that you can't save as much, right? Because there's only so much wiggle room that you have there's only so many rounds that you can lose.
Brought up is map balance. This point and the previous point about economy are directly intertwined in a lot of ways. However, another way that MR12 impacts map balance is if MR12 is made official, we could effectively eliminate best of ones from professional play, incentivizing professional teams to broaden their map pool and become better at Counter-Strike as a game rather than one-tricking a map. The upsets at the last two majors, mainly best of ones, caused a lot of great teams that flourish in front of the crowd to fall early, and as such, a lackluster playoffs. Best of ones are a lot more upset prone than best of threes. In this way, MR12 could actually make CS more competitive. And finally, let's talk about time management. This is the biggest thing in my opinion. Earlier, I mentioned how with MR12 we would lose a lot of great comebacks, and yeah, that's absolutely true. That's definitely a drawback. The intensity of MR15 is something that it definitely has on its side, but we do also have to realize that when we think of this, we only think of the super close bangers. And for every incredibly close series, there are 10 blowouts that could have been over 10 minutes earlier. Remember, in MR12, the first team to
not just 10 minutes earlier, sometimes even something like 20 minutes. Bro, I'm telling you, some games that we watch, it goes like 16-3 or something. That's still, with the halftime break that ESL always puts, that's still like a 40-minute game, 30-minute game.
Reach 13 points is the winner. I collected some data from the recently concluded IEM Cologne. In 67 of the 74 maps played, the team to reach 13 points first would end up the victor. That is over 90% of games.
Oh
of
my
the 13
God.
maps played in the playoffs, how many do you think would have had a different victor if we were...
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, can you really say this though? Because one team starts on one side, you know what I mean? Can you even make this comparison? So what he's comparing right now is what if the games would have gone different, right? If it was MR12. Let's say FaZe Clan 14 to 1/2, you know, and they start on CT side. And their CT side is crazy. It's crazy. If this game would have went MR12, this would have been a GG. But what if the T side is so bad from FaZe Clan and then all of a sudden the game goes 14-16? You know what I mean? Because the half, the half ends after the MR13 win has already been there, you know?
We're playing first to 13 rather than first to 16. The answer is not 3, not 2, but 0 maps would have ended differently.
What?
The entire Cologne playoffs would have carried on exactly as it did now.
Do you understand what I'm saying though? But that's still crazy. Like even with that, still 0 difference. That's ridiculous.
Maps played in the playoffs, how many do you think would have had a different victor if we were playing first to 13 rather than first to 16? The answer is not 3, not 2, but 0 maps would have ended differently. The entire Cologne playoffs would have carried on exactly as it did now if we were playing MR12. Something that people don't talk about when it comes to this debate is why we settled on MR15 in the first place. You would assume that it was some long, drawn-out testing period where we discovered that MR15 is just the optimal format for professional play. But no, that's not true. Before 2004, Counter-Strike pro games were played on MR12. The reason that CS switched to MR15 was, well, for a variety of reasons, laid out in an article released by the vice president of ESL, Trevor Schmidt, in 2004. In this article, he advocated for a 90-second round time with MR15. This did not end up happening, as most agreed that 90 seconds was too short for a round. Later that year, though, in September, CPL changed their format to MR15 with 105-second rounds and 15-second freeze time, essentially setting the standard and coming close to what we have today. The interesting thing is that the initial arguments for MR15 cited that it would reduce the randomness of CS, allow games to finish faster due to a lower round time, and force teams to arrive to events more prepared.
So
this was before best of threes became common at most tournaments, so MR15 absolutely did do this. But now the change back to MR12 could realistically offer the same benefits, because you could essentially eliminate best of ones in top-level Counter-Strike. The initial format discussions for CS are interesting, and I just wanted to highlight one more thing. A format called Chargers Only that was used by some very old European CS leagues. In Chargers Only, there is a fixed amount of time per half, typically 20 minutes. The twist is, only rounds won by the terrorists count. It's essentially Counter-Strike Rush mode, an incredibly fast-paced twist on our game. The drawback is that in practice, CTs ended up camping out most rounds, just waiting out the time, trying to make the Ts waste as much of their limited half as possible. But yeah, Chargers Only is really cool and should be brought back for a show match at some point. It's not even
every round a retake?
Necessarily just rushes, because the important part is winning the round. How fast you do it is a close second. It would be cool to see teams strike a balance between winning strategies and time efficiency. It adds an entire new dimension to fake executes, where the CTs will doubt that an execute is fake, seeing as the Ts only have a limited amount of time in the half. But for the Ts, is it even worth it to sacrifice those extra 20 seconds or so to get the extra point? Alright, that rant's over. Back to the regular video. MR15 is great, but MR15 can take a long time to get over with. The point of this video isn't that MR12 is just 100% better. It's to open up discourse a little more and show that it isn't necessarily all bad. The reality is, if Counter-Strike switches to MR12, not a lot changes. It's still Counter-Strike. We don't lose a lot from giving MR12 a fair try, and there's a chance that it elevates our game to a new level. That is, if they implement it correctly. I like this change, because it shows that Valve at least has enough dog in them to try some things that are going to be a bit unpopular. I'm here for testing.
A bit. For every time MR12 gets mentioned, this fucking chat on Twitter, like everywhere, the whole CSGO community, L. Guys, it's not even from Valorant. We had, like, CS had MR12 before. We're just going back to the original. Come on, man. Why are you saying L? Why? And if you say now again, like, the comeback potential or whatever, like, oh yeah, but it's so exciting. I Am Cologne would have went exactly the same way. MR12 makes so much sense. www. Oh my god, this chat.
Let's dip our toes.
Did this video actually change your mind? Nice.
Into the cold water and trust the process for a bit. There's no sense in writing off something that we haven't even tried. Thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna give you all a heads up. This might be the first double Penguin week. I might upload again. It's not a guarantee, but I just wanted to say, because I have another video finished in the tank that was going to be released today, but the MR12 change kind of came out and I really wanted to give my thoughts on it, so I quickly made this one. But yeah, the video that I have already completed also might become outdated very quickly if CS2 releases, because it's like a little bit speculative. So yeah, if it looks like CS2 is definitely going to release in the next week, I'm definitely putting it out. If it's not, I only might be putting it out. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that if I do end up doing it. But past that, yeah, this I already said everything about MR12 that I wanted to in the video. So, you know, I'm here for it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Yeah, see you next week.
Yes.
Or maybe later this week.
We did.
You got it.
Yes, we did, Penguin. As always. Leave Penguin some fucking love. The one person who really needs fucking CS2 access, bro. Literally him. The content that he will be putting out with CS2 access will be fucking ridiculous. One of my favorite CSGO YouTubers right now, if not my favorite. W. I'm all for giving MR12 a try. I just hope they are open to reverting the changes if it's not received very well by the community after some testing. Yeah, that's fair. I think most people are not mad that pistol rounds exist, but that they are very impactful even for MR15. In MR12, they will become even more impactful, making them basically a certain win condition. Yeah, but that would change. The economy would change, no? Like, why are people saying this? Of course, first, CSGO would make some changes that makes it right for MR12. It's just like you can't compare MR12 and MR15 at current economies and stuff, right? Because their economy, like, they will tweak it, of course. Changing it for matchmaking to MR12 would reduce the queue time significantly, since it'd unify the entire queue. That as well, chat, that as well. Right now, 50% of CSGO players is queuing short games. Sorry, I think it was half of the games played are short games and the other half is long games. Why the hell are we splitting up the queue? Why not have one unified way of playing CSGO? How the pros play it, how we play it, how everybody plays it. MR12, boom. It's the best of both worlds. If you think that the game is too long, your queue, you know, it's digging deeper into the MR8 versus... Oh no, this one was aware. MR8 versus MR15 long games by rank. And yeah, short game enjoyers, let's just say, is mostly the lower ranks. That's just crazy. Everyone in Global plays long games. Maybe Globals think they're fucking, or like they want to play competitively, like how they see their fucking pro player play on the screen. Why do globals not like short games? I'm global and I like short. Bro. Okay, we need to get back to global. I'm almost global and I enjoy short games. So that's why the sub prefers MR15, because we're all globals here, right? But where was the other one? Here. Short matches make up nearly 50% of games played on Leetify. Does this explain the rumors of a Switch? This kinda seems like a lot, but I guess the games are only half as long, right? So the time spent in short versus long games is probably like, what would this add up to? 25% in short games? Maybe. But then as well, you could argue people that use Leetify are maybe more likely to play long games. Why? Because people that use Leetify are probably higher rank as well. The fucking Silver who queues up his first matchmaking game is probably not gonna use fucking Leetify or is even gonna know about it. I'm all for fucking MR12. I'm all for fucking MR12, bro. Watching an Inferno game that goes fucking 16-3 that still takes around about like 50 minutes, 40 minutes. 9, bro, 9.